Welcome to the dungeon. I am Vincent Crowley, and today I will be talking about the movie The First Omen.
You don't have to be afraid. God has great plans for you. This child is his way.
On April 8th, 2024, there's going to be a solar eclipse with the Devil's Comet making an appearance. CERN is activating their particle accelerator. There's all kinds of people predicting bizarre things, such as UFOs being revealed, NASA doing secret rich Egyptian type rituals, giants being revealed, and of course, Jesus coming back and the end of the world. So, what better time to release this film? The First Omen is a movie created by director Arcasia Stevenson, is a prequel to the original trilogy. If you're unfamiliar with the Omen franchise, they did put out three uh, theatrical releases, one being the original Omen, the second being Damien, and the third being The Final Conflict. There was also a fourth one that was done as a TV movie called The Awakening, but we won't get into that terrible thing. There was also two book sequels after the movies by Gordon McGill called Omen 4, Armageddon 2000, and Omen 5, The Abomination. And while we're at it, we might as well mention that dreadful series, Damien, that I believe Fox put out. And that was completely awful. But now let's get into The First Omen, and there will be no spoilers in this video. So my wife and I went to the theater yesterday and saw it at the movies, and we were pretty much expecting a terrible movie. But being a fan of the originals, we definitely wanted to see what they were going to create. Surprisingly, we were very impressed, enjoyed the movie, and came out pretty shocked on how it ended up. In this prequel, it fills in a lot of gaps prior to the Omen movie, and it, for me, had an interesting twist of why the Antichrist was unleashed upon the earth. So instead of babbling on and giving you 50 million spoilers, I'll just give you the pros and cons of the movie, in my opinion. So let's start off with the pros. Okay, first off, it's a pretty good storyline up until the end. There could have been a better ending, in my opinion. They made things for a possible sequel, which is definitely unnecessary. But for the majority of the film, the storyline's really good. Secondly, visually, this film was very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It was very appealing. The cinematography was done well. It captured a really dark feel that was needed for the movie. And unfortunately, a lot of movies today lose that element within the films. Third, the actors did a really good job. They did their part well. They represented their characters correctly. It was a serious movie, and you didn't get any of those ridiculous goofball characters they seem to like to throw in all the time. And four, it was the whole dark feel of the movie in general without going totally over the top all the time like some of these movies do nowadays. Now let's get to the cons. Very first, my biggest one was the CGI jackal in the film. It was unneeded. It looked ridiculous. I mean, the movie's going so well, and that kind of just ruined it. And that's not a spoiler. If you know the Omen series, you know the jackal is a part of the storyline. they just did not do a good job on that, and that was the big minus for me in this. Second, some of the scenes were pretty predictable. You know, when you're watching it and you know exactly what's going to come next. There's several parts in the movie that does that. Um, One I could understand because it was kind of paying homage to the original Omen, but the other ones they could have thought up something a little bit more unique and original. And third, the ending. I think this movie, if it was done a different way at the end, could have ended just perfectly, but they added some elements and scenes in there and storylines that I didn't feel was needed. They left a lot of space to perhaps go into another movie, another sequel to this, which is not needed at all. This was good for a prequel. There's no need to do any other movies. I just didn't like how the movie left off. So, in general, I would recommend this movie wholeheartedly. I think it's a good watch. I would even recommend you go into the theater and seeing it. Not very many films these days worth, going out and paying money for movie tickets, but it was indeed a good watch. If you're new to the channel and enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell for upcoming episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all on the dark side.